Till now in the morning we have done some exciting things with images and fetching URLs from other sites, and also we saw one more thing which was related to the security. So now you've seen some demos which are about features of App Engine. Now let's look at some more features, like two more features we'll look at. One is queues, task queues, cron jobs, and in fact 3 log files. So we will see how to use these features in the App Engine. Also, currently I'm facing problem in uploading this transform image application, but this has been uploaded earlier, so I will show you that application demo. So this is the application which has been deployed on App Engine, and we can choose this lighthouse, let's say. So if I say, let's say, flip horizontally, you can see that it has changed, or even flipped vertically. So here you can see the vertical flip, or resize it to a smaller size, or crop it. So different features can be applied, effects can be applied on an image. So coming to the next part, which is after transforming. So this we did in the morning, fetch URL, to fetch the information from other sites, and storing binary large objects using the upload function. And once the files are uploaded, then you can transform them into, you can resize them, or you can rotate, you can crop them. So this, I'll show you a site. Right, this is the site. Go through this later on. Uh, so you can transform the images, resize them, you can even rotate them. So the site address is here. My connectivity is lost. Remote desktop has got lost. So we'll come back to that once its connectivity is there. So let's continue with the next topic, which is task queues and cron jobs. We'll see what is task queue, how to configure it using queue.xml, difference between push queue and pull queue, and a cron job. So you guys know what data structures are, or you would have read data structures sometime in your life, either using C++ or Java or C Sharp. Working issue. Okay, maybe this is the issue. Okay, there is some issue with the connectivity to the server. But anyways, so please send me your responses. What do you understand by queue? What is a queue in data structures? In data structures, how are the queues configured? You would, yeah, first in, first out, right? So you have first in, first out tasks or queues which are there. You would have learned them. Yes, you're absolutely right. Now what happens is, in a website, when a particular task is taking too long to get results, for example, it could be some calculation which is taking time, and we cannot wait for the user to keep on waiting, and then we have to respond immediately. So that those kind of tasks are put in task queues, and when the processing ends, then we can send a notification to the user that this is the result. So task queues help us in, again, responding back to the users faster. The tasks are picked up and put in a queue, and periodically they are pulled up from the queue and executed, and that's how it goes. Similarly, cron jobs are something which happens at a given period of the day. Let's say midnight, you want to do some cleanup of data or some analysis of data, so that every day you can set up cron jobs which will run and perform that activity. So in a task queue, you have a task and a queue. So tasks are placed in a queue so that they can be executed. Now over here, let's say there is a website which has got these two tasks, red and green, and task 1 stores record in a data store, and task 2 sends email to user, and these tasks take some time to do. So they are put in this queue over here, and there is a task queue service which picks up these tasks and then perform them when it has the time and the on a specified given interval. It keeps on checking that queue, picking up the task and executing them. This is the task queue service which is used. So there are two different types of queue configuration provided by Google App Engine. One is called as push queue, which allows a task consumer which uses App Engine tools and services to process a task, and it is easy to configure and release tasks by App Engine. So you keep on pushing your task in a queue, and App Engine, there is a scheduler which keeps on picking up these tasks and processing them. There is also a pull queue. Just 1 second. Okay, I have got my connectivity back. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Some issue with the system. Now it's resolved. Now, as I was showing you, there is this page and link This is a link, cloud.google.com App Engine docs Java images. So using this, you can see how they are rotating images, flipping them horizontally, vertically cropping them, and transforming the images. So this is what we just learned how to do. So there is certain quota limits on how much of calls you can make and maximum size of data image you can send and maximum size of image you can receive from the service which is doing this transformation. So coming back to task queues, so there are two types of queues, pull queue, push queues. So based on the names, the following figure displays two types of queues. Okay, there are also the names you can specify. There is a default queue and there is a named queue. Default queue is the default queue which is provided by App Engine. Named queue is a name which you give to the queue. You create a queue and give a name, and that's the named queue. So to configure it, you need to update the queue XML file. So over here, this is a name, optimized queue. I have given a name to the queue, optimized queue, and the rate is 20 per second. The rate of tasks which this queue will process is 20 tasks per second, and maximum it can pick up is 40. So bucket size is the maximum number of tasks per second up to which your queue can execute. You can specify your own scheme for task retries by adding the retry parameter. So there is a number of times a task will be tried is 7. So 7 times if it doesn't work, the task will be taken off the queue. So this is the number of retries to execute the task which is there in the queue to process it. There is also age limit, that is if the task remains in the queue for 2 days, it will be taken off the queue. So there is a task limit, task retry limit and a task age limit in the queue. You can also set the interval between the attempts, that is you can specify these parameters, min backoff, you can specify max backoff and max doublings. So it's basically specifying how much time between one retry and the other retry the queue should wait. So it's saying 10 seconds it should wait before retrying, and maximum 200 seconds it should wait before retrying to execute the task which has been put in the task queue. And maximum doubling is specifying when it is counting the time, what is the speed at which it should count. So 0 means it's just counting sequentially. Otherwise, the queue can count faster if you specify this as 1 or 2. So you need to create a servlet. How do you do this? Push queue is you create a servlet and use the getQueue method of the queueFactory class to access the push queue, and it returns the queue class object. So this is how you define a particular queue. You say optimize queue, get queue. So this is a queue which has been defined and in the queue.xml. Here we are picking it up and then we will add a task to it. So the task option class is used to add a task to the queue and to set the servlet's URL and parameters as shown in the following code snippet. So queue.add task option build with URL slash task param email ID string email ID param password string password. So this there is a task options which are being added into the queue. So let's look at it practically now, how this queue works. So the company asks you to create an application based on the following guidelines. It should implement a push queue. You should provide a sign up form, and when this form is displayed, it should send a request to the server that accepts the email and create a task. It should respond to the user by thanking them for the interest. So what we are doing is the email we are going to send through a queue. So this is just going to send the emails to the user through the queue. So this is similar to the queue email example we did yesterday, but here we are using push queue to send emails. So we pick up push queue demo.zip. And import this into Eclipse. Now I might have a problem. I'll delete this and import this again. Delete project contents on disk. So I'll also delete it from the disk. Import. So in web.inf we have to create queue file called queue.xml with these values. Then we define the queue. So over here we're defining a default queue which has 5 jobs per second rate, and this is a subscription queue, the name which we're giving, another queue name, and there are 2 queues being defined. 5. So there is a default queue and there is a named queue. 2 queues are being defined over here. So in this submit servlet, let me add code. So these are the queue imports we need to add. Then do get code comes here. So in this we are picking up the values from the form, and if something is wrong we throw an exception. Then here a queue object is being created which is calling the subscription queue, and adding the queue the task option with parameter email. So it's asking me, we're pushing the email ID, name, password, and redirecting to success.html. So in this code, the variables are initialized, and we are creating a task which is using the with URL method that will be responsible for executing the task. The param method sets the parameters which you want to pass to the servlet, takes the name value pair as argument. So countdown milliseconds method enable a task to delay for a specified time. It takes a long type value which measures in milliseconds. In this example, the delay time is 50 seconds. Task servlet.java. In this, we say save data. There are two more procedures: save data and send email, which are being declared and defined here. That means when the user submits on the form, one task will take the data and save it in the data store, and the other task will send the email to the user. So you also have to change this ID over here to the ID on which you will deploy this. Let's say this is the URL fetch where I'm going to deploy this. Save data and send email. Two methods are being defined. And they are being called from here. In the try block, the save data and the send email data are being called in the try block in this servlet. And there is a log which is being generated saying got a sign up subscriber request for email ID, and info logger which says success subscriber sign up. So that means the subscriber was successfully able to subscribe to your site is being written to the log file. So this is what the code is, I think. And now let's deploy this. Open the App Engine Web XML and save. This is normal. Now for you, this guy, this app ID, we keep on putting here. Deploy to App Engine. Let's deploy to App Engine. So you're understanding what we are doing over here? Can you just click plus or minus? What is this task about? Push queues we are doing. Push queues. What is the purpose of push queues? Can you just say plus if you understand what is the purpose of a push queue? What is the purpose of push queue? Do you understand? Can you please click plus? We'll get to see the output, but what is the purpose you understand of the queue? I don't think you have understood. So this application is applied. Now let me put in some data in it. So this data will be written onto the data store, as well as a mail will be sent to me using the task queue. So we can see using the console developer, currently it's not there. Okay, what you need to understand, there is something. We go to this task queues. So, and you see subscription queue, there is one task in queue. So this is the task. It has arrived just now, 14:13, 40 seconds ago, and it has not run till now, I think. So completed in last minute 0, task in queue 1. So this data, and neither did I get a mail, neither did I get the data in through the data store, because the task has been put in the data store, in the task queue. So you can see the task queue over here, and I'll have to wait for some time when this task is executed. So you can see now the status has changed from task in queue 0 to completed in 1. So now if I see, I should get a mail or a values here, if everything else is fine. I'm looking at the right project, hopefully. 14.1 URL fetch. Okay, here you see, I just refreshed. So thank you for subscribing. Your subscription has been registered. This is a mail which has come from my task queue. Hopefully the data should have been So over here you can see task queue resource, task queue API calls, one of almost 1 lakh per day. So that's a daily quota. So I just now made a task queue call, and this value would have gone up from 0 to 1. Here, this is where I can see the task queue. To task queue. And let me see this subscription. There is nothing in this queue right now. So right now the queue is empty. You have no task in queue. It says you have no task in queue. Let me add one more time the form. I've just now filled up that form. So it should show a task in queue. Yeah, there is a task in queue 1. This is the task name. So it has got email to be sent. So this is the task queue. Is this clear? How to put the value in a task queue? Or what is a task queue? Can you click on plus or minus? Task queue. Still some people have not said anything. 25%, 31%. So once this gets executed over here, so completed in last minute becomes 1. And now I should probably get one more mail. Here it comes. Because this task is coming from my task queue. So we'll continue from here now. This is a push queue example. So let's look at pull queue now. There is another queue called pull queue where you can again specify the name. This mode is pull, meaning it's a pull queue. So you have to give access control list, which is who all can access this queue. A pull queue is slightly different than the push queue, because push queue, all you have to do is push the job and automatically the App Engine will pick up the job and do it. In pull queue, the app you have to do the task of pulling the task out of the queue and executing yourself. So you are just temporarily parking it in the pull queue. So mode, access control list, user email, which tells which all users can access user email. Okay, who all can write email, who all can use email, user email. So write email means who all can write to the queue, and user email means who all can list, leave or delete or update a task from the queue. So you are specifying the rights of the user, who can list, leave, delete or update the task. Or writer email is who all can write to that particular queue. So in pull queue, you can specify the number of times to try a task using the retry parameter element within the task try limit field. The system counts each time you leave a task using leave task method. The system deletes the task when your count exceeds the task retry limit. So over here, retry, you have specified 7 times you can retry. The following code simulates how to set the limit to 7 retries. So here again, firstly, you need to specify a queue object using get queue factory. Next is task options. You have to specify builder.with method.pull. And here we are passing the payload, that is the task, and adding the task to the queue. Let's look at another example of adding a task to this time a pull queue. We just saw an example of push queue. This is a task of pull queue. Yeah, those who are there, please send me an email today about your attendance. Just a hello and your center name and center name for your attendance. Send me a mail at nitgae3@gmail.com so that I know you are present. Please send me an email. Also, if you look at it over here in this screen, there is a push queue, there is a pull queue, and there is a cron job. So currently I don't have any pull queue or cron job. So let's see if I am able to create a pull queue over here. So let's look at the next task. Next activity. Implementing pull queues. Okay, so for this, again here we have to get one file. There is one thing also which I would like to show you. Please watch that if one user is working on Eclipse and some other user comes in, this I'll show you in the end. please imagine that there is one user on Eclipse who is logged in, and second user comes in. Then there may be an error message which comes in, and how to debug that. That's a very important part. So that please remind me. I will show it to you. Okay, so I get this file in task files. So, and look at the steps. So in this WebIMF, create a queue.xml. In this, add these tags, which is specifying that you're creating a queue. Remember to change this to the email ID which you are using, else you will not be able to write anything to the queue. So this is the user email address, which is who can read, and this is writer email address who can write to this queue. So you have specified the queue name and who all users can access this queue. Now servlet to handle form submission. And some import statements related to queue. Currently we're not using it, that's why error is coming. So we're picking the values from the form, and why is this giving red import? Just 1 second. Yeah, Anjali, what you're not able to get? Library of servlet. Uh, it, maybe it's not having, okay. Missing, okay, yeah, here App Engine SDK is missing. Right, you're right, you're right. Let me specify it. Hopefully this should work. This has come now. And now the red lines has also gone away. Mm, okay. So now what I have to do? Deploy this. Okay. So to deploy this, I have to go to and change the app ID over here. So I'll deploy it on this only. A14.1 URL fetch. There is something missing. Task servlet. Okay, so it's not showing errors. Okay, now this is done. This should deploy. The App Engine SDK was missing in this zip, and it is currently missing in this zip. So you may also get this error. So by specifying the App Engine SDK, I've got the files so that it's able to compile it. So let me add it just deployed it over here. Maybe it's doing something in the background. So this is the last time I was talking about my details not getting written. After some time, it has already written my details in App Engine. So in the previous activity, I had given this password welcome123. So it has picked up the values and it's just displaying it over here. These values will also be in the my queue if I quickly see it. Task queue, pull queue. So you can see the pull queue has got created, and I ran it 2-3 times. It has got 3 tasks in queue, and it has completed some 3 tasks in last minute. But if I look at my this other queue, it's showing error because I have overwritten on the same push queue the pull queue also. But in my queue.xml that this definition is not there. But in pull queue it has created 3 tasks, and this is the last task. You can see the name and the password. I had put 111 just now. It's there in my queue. So that's a small demo of using the pull queue. So did you understand this? Please click plus so that we have got this output now. So this is the output which we were getting, expected output. This is the expected output. So exactly this way we have also got it. Did you all understand this? Please click plus. Some of you have not clicked. Thank you. Okay, so this is done. Now a very interesting demo is coming up, cron jobs. In Linux or in other devices also, there is a feature whereby which in background you can run a task and periodically it will run and the task. So it's like a time-based job scheduler. So it enables your application to schedule a task to run automatically at a certain time or date. For example, you may want a task to send an email at end of the day for some information to your subscriber after doing some calculation. So it's like a day-end processing, or it is like some kind of a data analysis. A cron job is a URL that is invoked by App Engine infrastructure using HTTP GET request at its scheduled execution time. An HTTP request invoked by cron can run for up to 10 minutes. A cron job is scheduled using cron.xml. So there is a cron.xml using which we can create this. So these are the steps. First, we create a servlet, configure this file from web.xml and cron.xml. So, and this is the code for the servlet where we are just sending a email at a particular code snippet, how to create a servlet that sends and writes emails. So this is not really doing it. We'll see that. So following is the code snippet list how to configure the servlet in web.xml. In the web.xml, we are specifying email servlet and mapping email servlet to the cron job. So your URL pattern is cron email cron job. The URL of servlet is cron email cron job. This URL is used in cron.xml file to schedule the task. So we'll give this URL in cron.xml so that periodically this keeps on generating the email. So cron.xml looks like this. So over here it starts with cron. URL has got cron email cron job. The cron job that sends daily emails. So once a day at 9 AM is what is scheduled. I mean, it's written like that. So schedule, you specify when the task has to be done, and the cron entries is the element is the root element. Over here starts over here cron entries /cron entries. schedule, and the content of the schedule element is called cron expression. So let's see one small scenario where you register, and at the end of the day, the mails are sent at the end of the day using cron job. So it's not sent immediately. Mails are dispatched in the night. So firstly, the data is stored in the data store and should retrieve the user details from the data store and send promotional email to all the users after 10 minutes. We are just doing it for 10 minutes so that we can see it. We can see the output of cron jobs happening. So complete this activity, you need to use Publishers Hub application. So let's do that. I will use a different project this time. This one. So this is one of the last demo, almost the last demo of this 15th chapter. There's just one more chapter after this, which is related to log files, which has got 2-3 demos, and then I'll show you one troubleshooting tip, which is important. So let's look at this form. Let's look at the demo. I've closed other projects so that I can import this Publishers Hub. These are my task files, I guess. So first step is publisherhub.servlet. This one is also missing the SDK for App Engine, so I've deleted it and I'm adding a specific SDK 1.9.31 again using this properties for Publisher Hub window. When I do that, this comes and red line goes away so that it's able to resolve it. Also, in here I should put in the ID, app ID. Which will be stored over here. Very good. And if so I add in the content for Publisher Hub Servlet, stuff bracket close. Then modify the servlet to send email. Okay. And email servlet. Send servlet do get method. Also over here, change the ID in the code so that this can send the mails. So it's saying modify the web.xml. Text editor, modify this. Servlet mapping. So data files doesn't have that file, the lines which have to be pasted. So I don't want to type it right now. So I'm taking the help of solution file. So that will have all the contents. Where did it go? Here it is. Welcome file. Have the servlet for sending email. Then create a cron.xml under web.inf folder. Under web.inf, new file, new XML file, new XML file, cron.xml. So over here, so this is the cron entries which I am making. It says cron URL is send email, send promotional email every 10 minutes. Okay, this is done. Next is deployment. Let's deploy this. So we just now created our first cron job. Once this run, I'll give you a 5-10 minutes break. Let it run. Once this output comes, we'll have a 5 minutes break. Okay. So let it run. Let it deploy. You also see a message uploading cron jobs. Last line. This was not coming earlier. This is coming now because we have put a cron.sml. So when I click submit, after entering all this information, a message registered successfully has come. Now let's look at the cron job, because we're not sending mail immediately. This would go in a cron task queue, cron job over here. So it has not run as yet, but it is scheduled. So it will send a promotional email every 10 minutes. So in my mailbox, after every 10 minutes, I'll get a mail, which would look something like this, because I had done this earlier. Okay, or maybe we'll wait for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we'll get our mail. So let's take a 10 minutes break. By the time you come back, there'll be a mail from the cron job, and right now it's scheduled. So let's take a break 10 minutes now. Welcome back. So welcome to this last session of Google App Engine. We have seen so many technology components of Engine this week. I'm sure you would be looking at that engine with awe now, that it can do so many things and it provides so many features. So one last feature which we look at now is using the log files. And by the way, before the break, you had gone, we had configured a cron job. So once you have come back, and I can show you the new mail which has come over here. Hitting from Publisher Hub. This has come at 3:14. So probably at 3:24 one more mail will come. After every 10 minutes a mail will start coming now. till the time I don't stop this cron job. So several books have been added. Enjoy reading, Publisher Hub. Click to read. So this is a promotional mail which has come as part of a cron job which is running currently in the background, and unfortunately I've set it for 10 minutes so that I can see the result. This will be very annoying for users to every 10 minutes get this mail. So in the real life scenario, it will be just once a day or once a week. So this mail is a generation of cron entry. It's generated through a cron job which is running every 10 minutes on my server, and hopefully you'll see one more. Mail in another few seconds, because 10 minutes more is almost done, and cron job will run again. So another mail will be shot to the same email ID, and I'm sure it will get updated shortly. So lastly, we are talking about log files now. So we will see how to write to log files and read from log files. So we were at this stage looking at the, oh, by the way, just as I switched, a new mail has come. So I'll just switch back to show you that a mail just came, another mail has come. So this mail is, again, as I told you, both these mails are from the cron job, which is running in the background at my application, this project A14-3 imageappspot.com. So hopefully cron job should be clear. So what we have just now done is a small recap of it. So task queues we did, which is nothing but putting tasks in a queue for performance to be performed later, and they are working in a first in first out method. And we also talked about push queue and pull queue, and a default push queue is available. So it gives 5 tasks per second, which can be modified by queue.xml, modifying that. Then there can be a named queue where you can specify the name of a queue. And we talked about a cron job, which is running currently in the background. Every 10 minutes I'm getting mails now. Cron job is configured using cron.xml. This is what we did. Now looking at the last session of this, which is managing request logs. One small view of logs we had when we were looking at the mails which was getting retrieved or getting stored in the logs. Now we look at logs more in detail. Here we look at log files. What are the different log levels and how they are written to log. We can also write, the application can write to the log and can read from the log. Any of you know any other place where logs are used? I mean, where you would have used the log file or seen a log file? You can also download the logs for later analysis. This retaining of logs is important to understand that logs are rotated because they occupy space. They are rotated, or they are deleted from the server after specified time. So if you want them to be retained for longer duration, then you need to upgrade your plan or change the plan or the options which are there. So we can query logs using log APIs. There are APIs to query. Yep. Database logs, definitely. Thank you, Sangeeta. And monitoring my MS SQL server. Okay, good. So something similar, logs are there here also. So can an important message of an application be used for later for the future analysis? Logging is a mechanism which we are using to store the information and retrieve it for future analysis. So it could be critical error, or it could be a message or information which is getting stored. It's an important tool to know the application behavior and its current activities. It provides an effective way to know various conditions under which the application is performing. It maintains log for both free and paid applications. It supports log retention. That means some duration till the time logs are not deleted. It supports 5 different log levels. We'll see those. And it can be viewed by log viewer in admin console, or you can also use appcfg command to download these logs from the command line. So App Engine writes the information about every request to the log automatically. The following application specific details are written to the log, such as date, time, when this is log was there, the valid or invalid URL request, IP address to the client, so on. So all this information is logged. It writes information messages about the requests which are issued as the first request to the newly started instance of an application and have served beyond their deadline. So if some application is going beyond the time limit, it is written in the log. So it also writes its own messages to the logs. And uncaught exceptions are also written to the application log as error. So following are the levels of logs, log levels. There is a debug, there is a info, there is warning, there is error, and critical, which is the most rigorous. So you must import Java log util logging library to work with different standard log levels. These log levels are available in order of their severity. You can log messages with different levels in a servlet-based or Maven-based Java application. The following 2 important steps needs to be considered while writing to a log. So you can configure an endpoint class, configure a JavaScript file, and that's how we will do it. The following step needs to be performed in endpoint class. In the endpoint class, you import Java util login logger library. You create an endpoint method in an endpoint class and create an object of the logger class in the endpoint method, and set the desired log level using the logger object and save the endpoint class. So we'll see how to do it practically. So the following other steps need to perform: configure a JavaScript file, open a JavaScript file, call and execute the endpoint method in the JavaScript file, save the JavaScript file, configure the logging properties file to the log level, and set the set system property which is set to point to the logging property file in the App Engine web XML file. So this is not required in case of Eclipse, but in command line probably it is required. So now let's look at how we can write a message to the log. One small activity of writing to the logs. So I'm taking the input file and I'll also see what are the steps required to be done. This is a Maven based application, I guess, and it's using the APIs to log messages into the system. So let me just make sure. I also open the solution so that I can copy paste the text which is required, which is in the input file. So I will import this Maven based project. There is already a version present in my workspace, so I will add some name template over here in Advanced tab. This is write log. Right now it is not unzipped completely, and I imported it. So I should have actually waited for it to unzip. No, it's unzipping it's okay. It's unzipping the solution, so it's okay. Okay, in the form.xml, change this 9.18 to 9.31. And also in this, these are 2-3 things which you should do as default, so that so I'm getting these hello location messages every 10 minutes now. So I'll have to see how to close it also. So let me take this project, and I also need to have client ID. It doesn't have a client ID, so I'll have to create one. You remember these steps from yesterday, hopefully. So we have seen this creation of client ID. I'm doing it again. The web client ID, I have to give https://a15-1-push appspot.com host, and also callback. So I take this client ID and I paste it in the Maven based application which are using client ID. What else I have to do? Open this port. Okay, saying open reconnect endpoint. This file where endpoints are defined already, and import I'll just pick up. I don't have time to type all this, so I will just pick up the solution and use that to fill all this. So this is an API being defined to log data. Here we are having loggers object and whatever information we want to log is being written. Info log level is written to the log and says returns new profile. So let me copy this over here in the end after move data. So we have done this step of creating the API method. Now we configure a JavaScript file where this call will be made to call this log data. So JavaScript file is reconnect.js over here, and here also reconnect.js. In this save callback. We have to put in callback log data over here function. So instead of saying that the record has been inserted as an alert, this we are replacing it by writing this message into the log file. Remember last over here, whenever we were adding a record, an alert used to come that record has been added. So what we are doing is, instead of displaying the alert, we are writing to the log file that the record has been written. So call log data. When the save happens, when I click on save, it will also call the call log data, that is this, which will use this alert. The records are logged. It will execute this function. Records are logged. It will also call the log data function, and since we are doing it for the first time, we want to see some output. It will also generate an alert saying yes, it has actually managed to log the data. Actually, this line is not required once you have already written the log data, but just because we are doing it from the user interface, we'll also get a message. So it also says expand the logging properties file. Logging properties file is here. Change it to info. So now let's run this onto the server. So once we run it, we'll have to give this URL, yourID profile.html, and when this profile page comes, once we fill it, a dialog box will come, the record has been logged. So when this message comes, it means the information has been written to the log file. That we'll then go and see the log file, what has been written. It's starting deploying. So hopefully all of you sent me your email which is related to today's attendance. So Anjali, hopefully you are also noting down the bandwidth requirement for deploying these applications again and again, and hopefully we will not have issues on bandwidth constraints. So let me know your views. when we are deploying these applications and when multiple users may start deploying it, do you think too much of bandwidth will be required? That was one concern which we wanted to check when we are doing this training. It has deployed it, so let's run this application, which is this. So the profile page has come. And I fill in the details and click on submit. Hopefully it'll call the connector and it says the record has been logged. So I'm very happy to see this message, the record has been logged. So we can go and check, hopefully. The App Engine, old appengine.google.com. This is or A15.1. Logs. So it over here says underscore SPI com example data store vconnect log data. So it is giving info log level is written to the log. So this endpoint which is there is writing the information to the log. So it is my application which is there, endpoint, log data. It has other information, the IP address, date, and browser, and engine release and version instance. So it has written some information, info log is written to the log. So this is what is the message which I have kept over here. Info log level is written to the log. I could have passed some parameters and information about the user and all, but that was not necessary. But this is just showing the working of how the application can write to the log. Is this clear what is happening? The application through the API, through the JavaScript, is writing when the submit button is pressed and the data is going and getting written onto the log. Can you please click plus or minus to indicate if you understood what we just now did, the activity? Few of you have clicked. Others, I don't know. Can others also? Thank you. We have clicked. 40% is good for me. Okay, thank you. Now let's look at the next demo. We are almost towards the end of slides. You can see I am running out of slides and time. But I would like to talk to you guys at the end also for some time. So we just saw this record has been logged, and this you'll see the differences because this is in the IE. Probably you'll get this kind of a box. In Chrome I just got a plain box, so that doesn't matter. And this is the log which has been written. The following step need to be performed to view recent logs. So you browse the admin console, click on the application link of the log viewer. So we just did that and saw the logs. So now this is another small demo. The client wants to evaluate the log detail in a fine-grained mechanism and analyze what is going inside the application. So the application wants to read the log files and do some analysis. So let's look at this activity. We just did one activity, which was writing to the log. Now we'll do another activity, which is reading from the log. Okay, this activity is nothing but going to the log file, navigating to it, and seeing the logs in the administrator. So we have already done this using the log viewer of the application. However, there is another activity which is happening. This we have already seen this info. So we just web page should display the following recent logs. So we saw all this. Now, so we can also download these logs using appcfg command. So it allows the detailed log analysis by downloading it. It omits debug level of messages, and it allows append or overwrite on local log file. The following table displays a key point regarding retaining the logs. So maximum days of log storage is up to 90 days. And if you pay Google, then they will allow you to store for 1 year. And free, you can store logs to 1 GB level. And if you pay, then it is unlimited, and so cost is around 0.026 cents per gigabyte utilized per month. Also, the first 100 MB of log data are free to access when retrieved using log API. So these are certain constraints which are there in using this app engine. So there is log data using log API. Types of log data. Log API is used to query and log data programmatically. Two categories of log data provided by log APIs are request log and application log. It logs the data received from each request. It has its own getter methods such as get method, get resource, get end time, use sec, etc. For each request data field, and the details contained by each request are logged are application ID, HTTP, and application log. The application log is the data for each application log within the request log. It holds details of the time when the log was written, the log level, and the log message. The log data is stored in memory of the development server and is accessible to test features of log API. So this is the steps we will do to read the logs. Import API log package. Create a log query object by calling log builder within defaults. Then we call the build method to specify the parameters of the query using log query instance. Then we create the log service instance by calling the log service factory get log service and invoke the fetch method using the log service instance. Then we pass the query created in step 2 as the argument to the fetch method of the log service class. And then also there are some more steps. The fetch method will return an iterable of request logs. That means it may return multiple log entries for each request that matches the query. invoke get application lines method of the request log, the get app log lines method will return the list of zeros or more app log lines object, one for each log message. And once we get all those messages, we can display them and call the getter methods get time, get log level, and get log message using log app log lines objects to understand when those logs were written. For example, if the application log messages are requested include app log true, the get app log lines method will return a list of 0 or more app log lines objects. The app log lines object in turn will call the getter methods get log level, get logger methods, and get time, which carry the data for log message, log time, and log level. So we'll see how it is done. As an example, here we are looking at one API which is going to read the logs. So there is a query builder, log query builder with defaults. This is calendar, getting a calendar instance, and get log service is we are using the log service class, and getting the result displayed in a tabular format. There is a for loop after that, which is displaying the logs in the result is keep on getting added to the result, and at the end the result is added to the table and the table is displayed. So it's getting the result, it's reading the logs, and we'll see a small demo now. I think the last demo for this app engine, which is querying log using log API. Okay, let's see this. Activity 2 doesn't have any input file. Oh, it's using the same data store app, so I don't have to import it or unzip it. I just have to open the solution so that I can copy paste some more things. So we are having the same data store app which is there, so I will not try to okay, probably I should open the because they have done some changes in the script, so I will have to open the input file. Otherwise, the steps will not match. So input file is required. So I'm picking up the input files of data store app. Okay. So I will import this. And since it's already imported, I'll call this as read log. This is read log. Few things after you import it. First, pom.xml. Open with text editor and replace 9.18 with 9.31. Next is update App Engine with the ID which you will use. Let's say I will use the same ID, A15 1 push. Then add the client ID also. This is the client ID. Then we come to the steps. Writing to the log. We have done the writing to the log. This is also done. Now we look at go to web app and create the readlog HTML file. New HTML file readlog.html. So we create a new file called readlog.html. In this, I will use the solution file. Okay, so this step is done. Save it. Then go to dev store app to create readlog.java class. Data store app to create data store app folder, and we create a new file which is Java called readlog. So this is readlog which has got created. So in readlog we have to replace it with get message and set message, two functions. So this is also happening a recap that this is how we used to do it. So we have just now created a readlog getter and setter methods. Next we are adding an endpoint. In vconnect endpoint.java. So this is vconnect endpoint.java. Over here, last lines we will create an endpoint called readlog data. So after log data, we add read log data. And we also have to add some import statements. Now it's okay. So I've added the commands that will read the log and display it in a tabular format. Even though this may look pretty complex, it's nothing but reading the log file and in a for loop displaying the log in a table. That's all it is doing. Save this file. Next, we have to go to JavaScript, vconnect.js. And we have to call this function. So over here we have to change the call log data. So we have added one more parameter. It will display the logs which are getting this which are being called log data. But we have not called it, is it? Call log data. Where's call log data? Hope I'm looking at the right file. Save this file, expand, read log.js. Okay, save this file. But there is no read log.js. Is it there? Web apps. Do we have to create it? To create the read log.js. Okay, web app, you have to create a new JavaScript. We call it read log.js. So in the read log, we have to add in functions which is going to call the read log data function, which is over here, and it is actually going to call the read log API. Save this file, then go to logging properties and change it to info. It's already info. Save the logging properties. So now we run the application. So now let's deploy this. So it's a bit complex, in the sense the steps are a bit complex, but once you get to know it, you will be able to figure it out. And once you have done it, now you can deploy this. Once the deployment completes, then I'll show you the result. How the logs read from the log file and displayed to the application. So let it deploy, and I'll come back to this. So this is what activity which we're doing. This is the kind of output which we'll get. In a tabular format, the information will be read from the log files and displayed in the browser. This is the expected output. So till the time it does, so what we just did was, logging is an important tool to know the application behavior and its current activities. An App Engine writes information about every request to the log automatically. Different types of log levels are debug, info, warning, error, critical. You must import Java util logging library to work with standard libraries and logging levels. And you can use appcmg command to get the logs. The type of log related quotas are log data retrieved using log API and log retention. So there is some amount of cost involved in storing these logs and also in retrieving it using APIs we saw. App Engine provides the log API to read or query the log data programmatically. Categories of log data provided by log API are request log and application log. So this is what is there in the course content. We'll see the output of this last demo, and also there are some discussion points regarding one troubleshooting points. Very important troubleshooting point I have to do. Let me first finish this, then I will come to that troubleshooting point, because you will get the error and later on you will have problems. So let me show that error to you. So it's almost deployed the application, new version. And now how do we run this? We say app.id yourappspot.com profile.html. Okay. So let me refresh this and add a record. So when I click on submit, this should save the log the message, and then it goes to the read log, and it is reading the info log, and it's reading the logs, and you can see different messages on your screen, this has come from the log file. So it has just now read the log, and currently few lines it is reading and putting in the form of a table. It has got severity level, time of log, and log message. Is this understandable? Can you please click plus or minus? So this is the kind of output which we were expecting and we have got from this activity. Others cannot click plus. Right now it's got 6%. Can you please click plus quickly so that I can show you some troubleshooting thing which is important. Thank you. Okay, what will happen is when you are running this, deploying it again and again, it may happen that some new user comes in and tries to use Eclipse. So right now I'm logged in as, okay, before that, so I'll show you now. This publisher hub has started to come after every 10 minutes. So you can see so many publisher hubs which I'm deleting now. So there is 2 more. Okay. So what may happen is currently I'm logged in as NIIT GAE3@NIIT gmail.com. That's what is there in Eclipse, and that's what is there in browser. So I will log out from here. I've just now logged out from here, and I'll sign in with different account. I have another account called NIITGAE@gmail.com. But that is not different, so I'll put Lokesh. So I've put in my and it has got 2-step verification, so I will get this message to put. I have to put in verification code. So in Chrome, I'm logged in as Lokesh Bhog. Here also I'm getting a lot of these messages, publisher, sub. This is all thanks to a cron job which is running in the background. Okay. So currently Chrome, I'm logged in as a different user, and in Eclipse I'm logged in as NIIT GAE3. Will this be a problem? Will there be a problem now? Let me deploy this Let's see if there is any problem in deployment. So it may not have any problems, or it may or may not, I don't know. I'll tell you the other way around. If I were to change the user name in Google, this thing, in Chrome, sorry, in Eclipse, then definitely there will be a problem, and we'll see that error message right in a minute. Now deliberately I'm trying to create an error condition. That means two users are coming and using the system, and I'm trying to create a condition whereby which one user is already logged in and the other user comes in and log in, but he's not able to upload the files. This may happen in the MR when one person is already logged in and some other student tried to come in and log in Eclipse, or some other student swaps the computer and he comes here and starts using it. What may happen is he may have find that other user had already logged in and saved the token. Token which was used will not be valid. The user 1 has already saved a token, will not be valid for user 2. So let's see if this is okay, no problem. I will tell you the other way around. So right now, okay, anyway, still it is NIT GA3 was logged in. Now Lokesh Bhog has come in and he is trying to upload. Right now still NIT GA3 is trying to do. So no problem, hopefully this will start working and this is able to upload, no problem. But now I want to sign out from this Eclipse and I want to say yes, sign out. I want to sign in as Lokesh Bhog. No, not NIT GA3. I want to sign in as Lokesh. Yeah, one second. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do that only. Okay, see, earlier I was logged in as NIT GA3. Now I'm logging in as Lokesh Bhog. And now I want to deploy this application to my app, my ID, some ID which I have. So I'm logged in over here. You can see In the corner earlier it was NIT GAE3. You cannot see a status bar. Now you can see lokeshbhog@gmail.com. Here I am logged in as lokeshbhog@gmail.com. So I will, and here also I have logged in as Lokesh, and I have this project 8th duality 803. So I take this ID and I place this in over here. I also have to change my web client ID. So I create my credentials. This is read log project. Web application client 1. Oh, sorry. They have put some good validations over here. Earlier on, I would type an incorrect thing, then it would still accept it, and things did not used to work. But now they have done a good job of making sure that you have entered the right information. So once I do this, and click on create, I get my client ID. So I think I've done almost whatever I was supposed to do, and let me deploy this now. Do I need to do anything else? Anybody? Do I need to do anything else? I'm a new user. I've come in and I'm deploying an application using the same Eclipse which is there. Will this work or not? I don't know. Or will it give an error? If it gives an error, I will tell you what has to be done. I'm currently signed as Lokesh Bhog over here in Eclipse, and in my browser also I'm logged in as Lokesh Bhog, so that is fine. Very good. Error has come. I am so excited, super excited. So this error will come, beginning interaction modules, and it will say error posting to URL App Engine something something. You don't have permission to modify this app. What is the wrong? But anybody can guess and tell me what I have to do. I had mentioned this earlier, but you don't have permission to modify this app. App ID equal to u something something something. Error posting to URL. My Eclipse is not working. Should I reinstall Eclipse? Should I reinstall my OS? What should I do? Anybody can tell me? It's saying forbidden. Error posting to URL. Some message. Unable to update. You don't have permission. Is this permission issue? I should give some permissions. Any ideas? Yes, no? You can click on minus now. If you don't have idea, click minus. I think the error arises when we create a project ID from one account in Eclipse and we are logging with another account. Yes, that is exactly the error which has happened. Now I'm trying to resolve it. So I'm asking what is the solution. This error has come because I've logged in as NIT GAE3 first and I created the project. Now I'm logged in as Lokesh Bhog and I'm trying to create another project, or I'm trying to deploy another project, or upload an existing project using Eclipse. That is the condition. Absolutely right. You have understood the problem. And you can click plus or minus and tell me what is the answer or what could be the solution. Because this you will face in your centers when two students come and use the same Eclipse. So what could be the solution? Should I reinstall Eclipse? Is that the solution? Can you please suggest what I have to do? It says com Google Engine Tools admin HTTP IO exception. Is it related to network? This is important. Very important. This error comes, then what do you do? So you understood the problem statement. Problem statement is one user was using the system, he went away, a new user has come in with his new user ID and password, and he's trying to use Eclipse and he's unable to upload the project to Google App Engine, and it gives an error posting to URL forbidden. You don't have permission to modify this web app. So should I tell you the answer? Please click plus. Should I tell you the answer now? One guess is one should log in using the same Gmail ID which he had deployed. Yeah, no, I'm a new user. I'm using my ID, Lokesh Bhog. Earlier there was another guy called NITGA3. He was using the system. He has gone away. Now I'm using my user ID password, but I'm not able to upload. What to do, ma'am? That is the question. So I will tell you the answer now. So you have to go to users, and the user, whoever is logged in, there will be a file called .appcfg tokens.java. Eclipse creates it and saves the token over here in this file. you delete this file. Okay, did everybody get this? This was very important step, because tomorrow you will face this. If you have two users using same Eclipse, now when I try to deploy, I'll try to deploy it again. Maven build. Now there will be one additional step where it will generate a new token and I'll have to enter that token. That step hadn't come. That had come once, when the first time when I had done it. Now for this user, this system will ask for the token and it will create this app, again that same file. So Ananya Bakshi wants me to repeat. Okay, wait, I will just repeat once this is successful. If it is not successful, why will I repeat? I will repeat if this is successful. So, okay, this screen which is there, App Engine, App Config would like to, had only come once earlier, when first time I had logged in with NIT GAE 3. Now it is coming, saying that it allows you to view and manage your application deployed on Google App Engine, view and manage your data across Google Cloud Platform Service, and I click on Allow, and it generates this token. On top, the token is coming on this side. So this token is coming. So I copy it, and then over here it's waiting for me in Eclipse at the bottom. In Eclipse, over here it says please enter code. You will see over here. In Eclipse it's saying please enter code. So you copy this code from here and paste it over here, and when you press enter it will start deploying. So, and also it would have created that file also. This app auth2 tokens file has got recreated, and it is trying to again deploy this application using my credentials onto the web server. So hopefully this should now work, and if it doesn't work, then we'll have to find the solution. Why I'm taking this time to tell you is that one user is there, he is using Eclipse, his ID gets stored. Another user comes in, you'll have to delete his token. Then only he will be able to upload. And so you don't get worried about the network permission or the Eclipse software. And by the way, I just realized today there is also this option over here, check for updates. So you can do that for Eclipse, and Eclipse may have a different new version, and it may you may want to update it to keep it updated. Check for new version means it will update the files. It will update itself. But think about it this way, now it is working now. I think it is deploying new version, uploading indexes and everything done. So now Lokesh Bhog has deployed the same project on to 8th Duality 803. This project belongs to Lokesh Bhog. App / pro. So yeah, so this is what was the application which was there. So when I click OK, it says logged. It will say logged and then display the log file. So the application has now got deployed with a new user. So how many of you did understand what I just did? What was the troubleshooting I just did? Some 20% have understood. How many of you did not understand? So that I can know that also. Did all of you understand this small concept? Small but important concept. So these small concepts are many of them are there. So once you get your hands dirty, you will find them out. Now one more thing is we have tried to document some of these dirty tricks in appendix of the book. So in the lab guide appendix, there are few tips which are important, which I thought was important, and this is the first one which is there. At times when executing Google App Engine application in Eclipse, you get an error message stating this application doesn't exist. This will occur if you are using a different login credential than already stored in Eclipse. It could be that you had used different credentials earlier to upload the content, but now you are using different credentials to upload the content. Earlier I was A, now I am B. To remove the credentials that Eclipse has stored, you need to perform the following steps. Delete this file which is present under your home user login name directory, and now you deploy the application credential again. Just this much took me a lot of time to figure out. So you will be saving your time if you follow this advice. Then there is another important error which happens sometimes when the application is accessing localhost 8080. After deploying it on a localhost, application displays HTTP error 404 and does not run. This occurs probably because some existing process is already executing in the background using the same port number. Therefore, it does not run even if the console window in Eclipse displays message stating build success. So you may get some kind of a message, but what you need to do is open debug, that is debug window, and terminate all the existing processes and start the localhost process again. So you need to go to this debug option over here. You can see this debug option over here. In this, right now it's showing one of this thing over here is terminated, but sometimes these applications are already running in the background, which is generally web-based applications, and you right click and say terminate. This option will be active if it is still running. So you terminate it. If you don't get this debug from here, then you will have to go to Windows debug. This option comes from here. So both ways you can do. Menu option you may have it, or you can click on debug. Now how do you go back? You can again say show view and so I think this one is the best. Go to Java EE. So it will come back to this thing. Let me go back to the. Where did it go? Once again. these are very important things which are there. Go to Window Open Perspective Debug. So this is Window Open Perspective Debug. Then you come to this screen, or you go to Window Open Perspective JEE. So you come back to this perspective. So these are two things which I have explained you. Now after you terminate all the processes, you can run this again, and then now you can. So sometimes you could also get a message, could not open requested socket address already in use. So then also you have to do this kind of a thing, or you can also close something which is already running. If it is not able to build something and you try to build it, so over here these buttons are given in Eclipse. So terminate, remove launch, remove all terminated launches. So these buttons you should use to remove things which are not running or are running in the background now. So you use this button. At times you get an error message, another transaction by another user is already in progress. You need to roll back the previous transaction. This will occur if you are trying to upload a project but could not upload it as the process halts in between. Something like this you may get. So that user can undo the transaction with app.cfg rollback, something like this. So open Windows, go to Eclipse plugin, go to latest SDK bundle. For example, right now at that point it is 22. Right now it is 31. Type app.cfg rollback in the command prompt. In the Windows command prompt you have to do this in case you get this kind of an error. This is rare, this is not much common, but this first one was common. Yeah, this one you will get definitely. Unable to update app, cannot get system Java compiler, please use JDK and not JRE. Did any of you get this error recently? Did any of you get this error? Unable to update app, cannot get system Java compiler, please use JDK not JRE. In your development cycle, did any of you get this error? No? No, you didn't get? Somebody got it. Somebody get this error. Yes. Good, you got this error. So in case you get this errors, it is related to part of Java. So in beginning, Borivali had got this. And Borivali, do you remember now how you managed to solve this? Can you specify now how, if I get this, how are you able to solve this message? Unable to update. App cannot get system Java compiler, please use JDK not JRE. If you get such error messages, what will you do? You know what is the solution? If you know the solution, please say yes, or if you don't know the solution, let me know, I will tell you. Please click plus or minus now, again. So you know the solution? Yes? So tell me the solution. Right. Borivali remembers. That is Vishnu remembers. Vishnu's name is not coming here. So Vishnu, I'm sorry, I'm calling you Borivali. Okay, so everybody knows how to do this. I am very happy to know. Okay, very good. So you know how to do this, but just for my satisfaction, I will again tell you. You can right click properties and somewhere over here, let me see if it is documented correctly. What I have to go do? Open run configuration, click GRE tab. run configuration, GRE tab. So it's doing like that. So it's trying to do it from here. It will actually reach there only. Okay, one more thing I have to tell you about troubleshooting before I want to talk to you and say bye. This troubleshooting thing is important. Run GRE, alternate GRE radio button. Alternate radio button, installed GRE button. Run configuration. I should probably copy it here. These are steps, so I'll just follow it. Run configuration, GRE, alternate GRE, install GREs. Here click on add. I think that should be there. Or you can click on edit also. You can click on this, edit, select the directory, and in the directory, remember, it has to be JDK and under that the JRE. And when you do that, then you will get the C: program files, Java JDK and then JRE, and not just JRE under Java. This can be removed. And now you can run. And that error should not come. Also, when you're clicking on this read log, one important thing you can say run as. We have been using Maven build. You can also say Maven build ... and Maven clean. It will clean out the existing configuration, whatever it has done, and you can build it again. So if you have a doubt, you can do a clean and then do a build. But importantly, Maven build ... gets you to this edit configuration. In goals also you can type over here app engine : update or app engine dev server. So over here also in goals you can type this and then say apply and run and select the JRE which is there, and that's in the main. You can click and there are some more settings which you should study about. Run. So when you can say Maven build ... it gives you more options to control the configuration, and when you say dev server, it will do it on the local server. And so this is about debugging. Now I want you to kind of make a small online group, and when you are stuck, keep on posting and trying to help each other out in this Google App Engine debugging and implementation. Um, I would like to say just hello to each of you one by one and then say bye at the end. So I'll just take one by one you on air and just talk to you for a minute. So this is running on dev server. So let me take you one by one on the air. So let's start with Ananya.
Hello.
Hi Ananya.
Hi, sir. Good
Hello.
evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening.
So we are through with the App Engine demos today. So you have to send me some links and upload some links, okay? And applications.
Sure, sir.
Sure. Anything else in your mind right now?
No, right now nothing. Just I wanted to rectify those errors what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
so you would rectify those errors. You will be able to Maven-based errors which you're getting. Check your firewall and
Yes,
configuration. If
sir.
everybody else is able to do it, you should also be able to do it.
Yeah. Yes, yes. So let me check those errors and rectify it.
Okay, and once you do it, then you please send me a mail with the
Sure,
links to your applications. Currently, you have not done much deployment.
Yes, yes. Once I'll done, definitely I'll drop you the links.
Okay. Right. So bye, Ananya. So thank you for
Yeah.
being
Bye.
part of this experience. I hope. How did you like this course?
Yeah, it is good, but it is taking time. That is the reason.
Time. Yes, of course, it will take
It's
time.
taking quite time. Yes.
So with practice, you will be able to do it.
Yes, yes, yes. We need a lot of practice on this.
So practice
So,
yourself. You'll have to practice a lot. Okay. Thank you.
sure, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So now, Saritija, Sarijita, NH33. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Saritija. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you speak something? I can hear you. Little bit. Say something.
Hello?
Yeah, now I can see you. So how was this experience and something many?
Four. Four, sir.
Four. How many?
Today or...
Earlier, I mean, whole week. Till now? How many applications? See, there are around 30 plus applications, yeah. So how many of it you have deployed?
Okay, around five, I think. Four or five, sir.
Very good. Okay, so you see, everybody understand that there are plenty of demonstrations and practical things and concepts. So I understand that you need time, but in 1 week's time, I can't give you time to practice and teach also. So you have gone through it. Now you have seen me do it. I'm sure you will be able to do it. If you get stuck, there is always solution. And I forgot to mention, there is this folder called data files for student also, and there are some exercises over here. You can see in the TIRM. So in the TIRM you will see exercises and data files for students also. So there are some exercises which are similar to what is there in the activities, and the solutions of these are there in the exercise folder. So that will also help as through practice. Okay. So this is for everybody. So there is a data files for students. The exercises similar to the one which we have done are mentioned in the course for additional practice by students in the lab. These are lab exercises. So you have explained the concept, then the students can also feel that they should do something different in the lab or at lab at home. So they can take up these exercises and do it. Okay. So what will you be able to do implement this and send me links to your projects? So send me your links also later. Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to have you on this program. Thank you very much. Thank you for bearing with me for 1 week. Thank you. So now let's go to some others. Kathi is not here. Kathi is disappeared over. Niyamat. Hi. Bit loudly, please. Yeah, I can hear you. So, how did you find this course? Okay. Okay. So this you're telling me just to make me happy, right? Because you've not been able to do Maven projects and you feel that it's difficult to do anyways. Okay. Okay. Fine. Good. So please send me your updates on whatever application you build and deploy. Right? I'll look forward to it. Now you send it to me that you're doing it. You said 2 applications, but send me more. Thank you. So nice having you on this course. Thank you so much for being part of this. Savran, please. Is not there on his seat. Savran is not there on his seat. So let's go to Sangeeta Kaimgutur. So hi. Yeah, Sangeeta.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we saw a lot of demos today, and in the last 2-3 days
Yes,
also
sir.
we have been seeing. So there is a lot of work for you.
Yes,
do,
for the next
and
10 to 1 month, 10 days to 1 month.
right. So you have to practice a lot.
I was so whenever if I got any free times, I have to sit with App Engine and Cloud.
And if you're successful in
Got
deploying
so
something,
many.
then you send me a mail that this has got deployed.
Sure, sir.
And
Definitely, I'll
your
send.
link had not worked in the morning, so send me a revised link also.
Post post session, let me create a new link and I will try
Yeah.
to deploy in that link and I'll send you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for being part of this course.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you. I hope you learned few things in this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mute.
So now let's go to CP. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, Marinder.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
So thank you
Hello.
for being part of this group, and hope you are able to do well with this engine. So as a technology, it's a new technology for everybody, and spend some time in exploring it. I'm sure you're doing a good job anyways. You've already deployed a lot of applications and you've sent me links also.
Yes.
So anything else?
No, sir. I really enjoyed working with technology, and definitely I'll take this a lot, and it is actually good and interesting. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, no, slightly we're your video is still and your voice is breaking.
Okay.
Let me call you again.
Hello.
Yeah, now it's better.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
much better.
hello.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. So, how did you find this technology?
I really enjoyed learning this technology. It is interesting. Little bit tech is required, otherwise it is great.
Your voice was breaking. Can you repeat the last sentence?
I said it is interesting. A little bit of tech is required, otherwise it is very good. I really enjoyed learning it.
Yes, it requires a little bit of technical background for doing this. But then, if you are doing cloud computing or you have to learn latest technology, this is the latest.
Yes.
So, yeah, and it will also benefit everybody if people can use it to get their ideas out out for everybody. So a lot of times we have ideas we want to implement, and this can help us implement the ideas immediately and without much. We have the complete control available if we want to apply a concept. So it will help you. I'm sure it will help the students more. Everybody should enjoy doing this.
Yep.
So thank you for being part of this group.
Thank you,
Keep me posted on your progress.
Yep, definitely I will.
Thank you. So let's talk to Anjali now.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hi Anjali. You have a very important role of telling me the network requirement, bandwidth consumption. Hopefully you saw how much of bytes were getting deployed.
Yeah, I just check about that. If you are just deploying an application first time, those is talk about like not too much bytes it's uploaded, like near about 10, sometimes 10 KB and sometimes it is 25 KB in the all.
Right.
On the when we just first time created a index.html file, so it's downloaded near about 200 MB of data.
I agree with you.
And if we talk about if in my center is it near about a 5 Mbps speed it's come, so it takes about near about 20 minutes to download that file first time.
Right. So first time around it will be issue to get like all the systems up with this at the same time. So probably somebody has to do it initially for all the system beforehand or something.
Beforehand to a student so that we are not facing any problems.
Right.
That bandwidth problem.
Right. So thank you for being part of this team and learning this technology. And I think you enjoyed this because you have some Java background, which you enjoyed this technology, understanding it. Hopefully you found something interesting.
Yeah, it's just like related to advanced Java and the tall part, so that's right.
Right. So advanced Java and its implementation. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
Yeah, and like EJB also concepts of entities and that all.
Okay.
So we have already.
Yeah, the kind of way the APIs work is something to do with the Java, advanced Java.
Yeah, advanced Java, same.
Okay, thank you, Anjali.
Thank you, sir.
Guwahati. Good evening. Hi, good evening. So, how did you find how did you find today's demos? Good. So you can see that different parts of a website is there in this each of the demos. If you can integrate it together as one project, that would be even great. And even in a place like Guwahati, people may like to get some ideas. They have some idea. They want to reach the world. So you can post your application onto Google, and then all over the world that application is available. And you can, it will be fast, speed is fast and things like that. So try to implement from that perspective. So thank you being part of this team and learning Google App Engine with me. Bye bye. So Borivali is Vishnu. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening, Vishnu. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So, we are, yeah, you are audible. So, we are at the end of this discussions now. Course, how did you find this course? You said you have worked similar technology in other areas also you mentioned. So compared to that, how do you find this?
It is very nice, sir, because I'm already working with advanced Java.
Right.
So it's supposed to the Java project, so I'm very happy with that.
So yeah.
This Google App Engine supports the deployment of advanced Java.
Right.
That's why I'm very happy.
Very good. So probably some other project which you have deployed some other place, you can customize and deploy it over here also.
Yes, I'm trying to deploy.
So once you do that, send me the links. I would like to see the links which you deploy.
Sure, sir. I will send you link.
So send me the links.
Yes, sir. I will connect you later.
Sorry?
Yes. Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you being part of this team. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't think anybody is there over this. So I think we are reached almost to the end, and there were just two people I didn't speak to. Shravan, who was not there on his seat, and he's still not there. And Cartesian was not there on his seat. And he's still not there. Maybe he's gone out. So thank you everybody. Thank you all for being part of this team, learning experience. I hope you practice more and implement all this, and send me the links of whatever you have managed to deploy, and that will be really my help, my reward to see you getting things deployed. So thank you very much. Thank you. We can close now.